always wanted to own my own business. But I wasn't particularly financially strong, and I didn't think I would ever be able to do that. And then, in 1993, my dear friend Barb, who owned a technical publications business, begged me to buy it from her. She was recovering from some personal tragedies, including her mother died. And so she wanted to go to Mexico. She had a house in Mexico. She wanted to go to Mexico and recuperate. So we agreed on a price. She worked with me for a couple of months, introduced me to her clients, and then she went down to Mexico and she lived on the monthly payments that I was sending her. Things started out pretty good. We had 2 in-house staff. They were doing a good job. And the business was billing about $1 million a year when I bought it. So that's a pretty good start. I worked very hard, and my staff worked very hard. And at the end of the first year, we had doubled the sales in 1 year. And the next year, we doubled the sales again. So we're now billing like $4 million. One of our original plans was that Barb would come back and work for me for another 6 months once she felt fully recovered. So she came back, and she was having so much fun. She was getting a salary plus her monthly payments, and we leased a car for her. So, you know, things were good. And after a while, she said to me that she was having so much fun. She wanted to get back into the business. She wanted to buy back in. So I agreed to sell her 49% of the business in exchange for forgiving 49% of the debt that I still owed her. I thought that was a pretty good deal because the business was now much bigger than the business that I bought. So we went along merrily until we had a lightning strike of good luck. A company named Katz wanted to buy our business. And they were talking about paying us something like $750,000. Of course, we'd split that. But that, good news. But it wasn't. That drove my dear friend and partner, Barb, around the bend. She thought it should be all hers. Her reasoning was she started this business, and I bought it from her at a time when she was vulnerable. So, and in fact, I stole it from her. And she wouldn't listen to anything else. She wouldn't listen to anyone else. So if she couldn't have it all, then no one could have it. Sounds like a really bad divorce, doesn't it? She was so upset that I decided to stay at home for a week or two and let her calm down, because she immediately got agitated every time I walked into a room. So I went home, and she used that time to turn the staff against me. She convinced them that I was cruel to her, that I had been mean to them, and I'd stolen the business from her. The thing that hurt me most was when I got a letter from the staff signed by every single person saying they would never work for me again. I felt betrayed. I'd been good to these people, and I cared about them. But there it was. Eventually, girls filed a lawsuit against me. And when she was seeing that she wasn't making any progress, she left the building. She left the business. Although she still was getting a salary and her monthly payments. So, the day that I went into the office, I was expecting it to be a plane crashing. You've seen those movies. The plane is falling from the sky, the luggage is tumbling all over the inside, passengers are screaming, the staff, the pilot, the flight attendants, some of them might be hurt. I didn't know what to expect. And it was just as bad as that. I walked in and the accounting department was empty. Every single person in the department had quit. That meant we couldn't do any invoices, we couldn't do payroll, and no one left knew the accounting software, including me. The IT manager, Richard, was an old friend of Burl's. He was there, but he was very angry with me. He agreed to stay until we could find a replacement. The sales department was calling our temps at Microsoft and telling them that the business was going down and they might not get paid.
What?
I fired them on the spot. So all that's left now is the writers. I sat down with the writers and I told them if they would stay in their job for 1 year, I'd give them a good reference. And if they wanted to resign, that was fine too, but no good reference. And they all decided to stay. We have a little bit of a piece left. I was able to find a very good account manager. I started with the staffing problems. Good account manager. We found a junior network administrator to replace Richard so he could go, which is what he wanted to do. And then we're left with the problem of sales. There I did something entirely unconventional. I hired a woman who was just returning to town from Chicago, Northwestern University, with a master's degree in music. Can you believe I did that? She happened to be my husband's daughter. And I told her very clearly, the business is rocky. I don't know how to do the job I'm hiring you for, so I can't train you. You'll just have to figure it out yourself. Would you accept a job like that? Well, she did. And she did a remarkable job of rebuilding that sales department. Now, the bank had dropped our line of credit because of the partnership battle. And the IRS was threatening because we had been late in paying our payroll taxes. And I managed to resolve both of those issues over time. And then, I think I told you that Burl filed a lawsuit against me. Eventually, she settled for peanuts. So I now own the business 100%, and I only had to pay 49% of my original price. So we continued to pay her. She left the business altogether. So at the end of that long struggle, and it took more than a year, the business was soaring. We had great staff. We were doing tremendous sales. The staff was happy. The bank was solved. The IRS was solved. and I could take a big breath. The $1 million company that I had bought was billing $11 million in sales at our peak.
Yeah.
So here's my message to you. We learn the most about ourselves in crisis. We become aware of our strengths, we become aware of our weaknesses, and we make mistakes, and clearly I made them. But if it's important to you, persist, persist, persist. Keep going. Despite all the obstacles, don't give up. And, like me, be stubborn.